Hi gang, Rob here. It is the evening of 27 July 2023, Thursday night, 9 o'clock. Time for a knife sale on the Apostle P channel, and a knife sale we shall have. Before we get into the huge array of fine cutlery, let's do a little bit of housekeeping as usual. First off, I need you to be familiar with and agreeable to the terms of the sale. I'm going to post them on the screen for you in just a moment. I will also print them in the description underneath this video. Please read them, understand them, be okay with them. To that end, at the very top of the video description, you're going to see 3 links to previous videos on the channel. The first one is pertinent if you're a new buyer. It is called A Primer for Buyers, and it gives you a 38-minute expanded explanation of the terms of the sale, how we do things, and why. So give that a watch. It will make your purchase experiences go much more smoothly if you know what's going on. Second will be my FAQs for Consignors link. That video explains how this all works from the Consignors perspective. If you're interested in using this sale to move along some of your collection, give that one a watch. The third link, as always, is to my rates and services video for the TheApostleP Knife Service, the original precision sharpening service for the online knife community. So in the all-important video description, you're going to see first those 3 links, then the terms of the sale, then at the bottom, the list of tonight's inventory, complete with timestamps on the left, pricing on the right. You'll generally see 2 numbers in the pricing column. The one on the left is the price of your knife as shown in the video. The one on the right as sharpened by the TheApostleP Knife Service. Let's see, I don't think there's going to be any next day sharpening this week. I've got some personal business to take care of. I got to make sense of all my medical bills from the accident Memorial Day weekend, so I need to be making some phone calls and getting some things squared away tomorrow, so I'm going to do that. But the good news is your sharpened knife should only take about 3 weeks, maybe a little less, before it's ready to ship if you purchase it tonight. If you see the word sold in lieu of pricing in that far right hand column, that particular knife has been bought and paid for by its new owner. Done deal. No need to send any inquiries regarding any knives that are marked sold in the description. Alright, I think that's it for the housekeeping. Let's get the terms up on the screen for you. Then we'll be right back with the sale. Here are the terms. All right, let's get to it, shall we? First off, we've just got 3 leftovers from last week's sale, all fixed blades and all shockers that they're still here, frankly. The first one is from Reiff Knives. Comes in that big old box. A US maker I am not familiar with, so maybe I need to be, huh? The knife inside the box is the Reiff Knives F6 Leuku Saber ground version. And let's see, here's the knife. Comes in a beautifully crafted, waxed for water protection, leather sheath, fold over. Looks like it's been hydroformed to the handle. Got a little bit of a fire steel loop. Nice retention. Here's the knife. The Saber ground F6 Leuku in CPM 3V. Got kind of a nice deep acid stonewash finish on that drop point blade. Kind of a medium height saber grind. 6 inches of it from 3/16 stock. Scales appear to be removable. They are I don't know if that's Coyote Tan or Flat Dark Earth, but G10, 3D machined and then blasted for that satin finish. Just a super fine piece in the hand. Good medium size camp knife, nice and robust. crafted in the United States of America. Let's see, these are out of stock. When they were available, they were $3.79 web retail. We ran this last week for $3.25. Didn't sell. We dropped it to $2.95 for the weekend. Still here, so let's do $2.70 like it is, and then $3.05 if you like it with an Apostle P edge. The Reiff F6 Leuku Saber grind. Next up, man, I'm existing in shame this week. The next knife was the Rob's Pick in last week's sale. Not only did it not sell quickly Thursday night, it didn't sell Thursday night at all. It didn't even sell on Saturday. We started at $260 on Thursday, dropped it to $230 for the weekend. It's still here. It's the Bravo 1 LT in Magnacut. Are you kidding me? Again, that consignor has waxed the sheath for water protection and hydroformed it a little bit. Here's the Bravo 1, boys. Rampless version, high saber grind, Magnacut. Get that 5/32 thickness on the LT model, which is all it ever needed to be. Layered tiger stripe black and orange G10 on the Loveless Stewart Coke bottle handle. You got 4 5/16 inches of blade, 4 13/16 inches of handle. This would have been about $320 web retail when it was new, and it is, I'm going to say, like new in box. We ran it at $260 last week, and you can't get these guys. No, can't do it. Didn't sell, dropped it to $230 for the weekend. Still here. Let's do $210 on the Bravo 1 LT Magnacut. Next up, man, I don't know. Sometimes I just can't explain things. Look at this. A little beauty from Tops. Kind of dressy for a Tops knife. Look at that sheath. Look at the red stitching. Beautifully made. Embossed with that Tops logo. Inside you've got a camp knife extraordinaire. I tell ya, it is the Tops Camp Creek Fire Edition, thus the red G10 scales with the thick black liners. You've got sort of a acid stonewash over a bead blast on an S35 VN blade. Kind of a Canadian hunter profile, works great for all kinds of camp tasks. A 4 5/16 blade, a 4 15/16 inch handle. Nice thin stock. Gosh, what is it? About 140 thousandths maybe. Superb cutter. Web retail on these is $185, and I think they're in stock. We ran this last week for $160. Didn't sell. Dropped it to $140 for the weekend. Still here. Let's do $125 like it is. $150 with an Apostle P edge on the Tops Camp Creek Fire Edition. All right, that does it for the leftovers. Let's get to the fresh stuff. I have one from CRKT, and this is Columbia River Knife and Tool doing what they do best. It is the 4050 Provoke EDC, designed by Caswell. Check this out, guys. So it's sort of a toggle lock affair. Blue, hard anodized aluminum handle. And I guess, is that a pocket clip? Is it? I think it is a pocket clip. I'm not quite sure how you use it. Ah, there you can extricate it like that. That's pretty cool. It's kind of a toggle lock affair. You hold it in your right hand, you push forward on that, and then it's locked. This is your lock release right here. And it pulls back and goes home. Yeah. There's got to be a quicker way to flick that out, but I'm not sure what it is. I bet you there's a video somewhere. Pretty cool knife. Anyway, D2 blade, 2 5/8 inches long to there, okay? And then the handle, 4 5/8 from there to there. I bet you there's something cool you can do with the ringtail for deployment and all that stuff, but I don't know. It is like new in box and condition. $175 is the price of these web retail. Let's do this one for $100, like it is. $125 with an ApostleP edge. It's a CRKT 4050 Provoke EDC. Next up, we have one from Risner Cutlery, established 1974. I got one sticker here. I think there's another one in the box. And here's the knife. This is the Ohio River Jack from Risner. And this is the jigged titanium version. So you've got a steel back spring and then 2 slabs of titanium jigged to look like bolsters, end caps, and a cover. And it is traditional in its operation. It's a half-stop slip joint, kind of a robust Wharncliffe. There are long pulls on either side, but you don't need them. You just pinch it out. Blade is M390. Its length is 2 15/16. The handle is 3 3/4. So great blade to handle ratio. It's got a stop pin instead of a kick, so it makes kind of a thunk instead of a snick when you close it. But the walk and talk's really nice for what it is. About an 8 pull. Dead centered. Condition on this will be like new in the box. These are out of stock. When this was available, they were $125 web retail. Let's do this at $100 like it is. $125 with an ApostleP edge. It's the Risner Ohio Jack. Ohio River Jack, sorry. Next up, got a fixed blade from a company with whom I am not familiar. It's Kell knives, and the knife comes in this slider sleeve kind of a plastic box. And here it is in a beautifully crafted Kydex sheath with a polymer spring clip. Good retention, 0 rattle. Nice thumb break. Here's the knife. It is the Kell Knives Combatant, crafted of 80 CRV2. Winkler Knives uses that steel. It is good stuff. We have a 3 5/16 inch blade. It is T1C plated with Recon distressed finish. Blade length 3 5/16. The handle 3 11/16, and that appears to be black G10. Interesting mill pattern on it, and it looks like it might be a little rocky, but when then you put it in the hand, it's like, oh, it's good. This one has been user sharpened, and you know, it's got some evidence of use. Interesting, I don't know if the camera is picking this up well, but that is a milled bevel, not ground. Pretty cool. USA made and veteran made. They're out of stock. When they were available, they were $200 web retail. Let's see about that. I'm going to give you a sharpened price. It's pretty sharp, but it could use some refinement on that user applied edge. So they're out of stock at $200. Let's do this at $130 like it is, and then $155 if you'd like it with my edge on it. That's the Kell Knives Combatant. Next up, we got an old pair of blue jeans. But it's a new old pair of blue jeans, newer, right? It's from Buck Knives. Let's see. There's your model number. It's a 110, guys. It's a 110, but it's not quite what you're expecting. Sheath is present. There you go. So we have all nickel silver frame on this one. And then instead of wood, we have a normal peel ply black G10 on the 110. You've got an S30V blade with the Boss heat treat in the conventional clip point configuration. 3 3/4 of blade, 4 15/16 inches of handle. the classic buck lockback, and it is rock solid. I mean rock solid. But blade nice and free. Centering is going to be off to the right slightly as you're looking at it. Let's see. This has been used and sharpened, and again, not a super refined user applied edge, but it is quite sharp. This model is called the Buck 110 Pro, if you're checking me. Anyway, they are discontinued and out of stock. When they were available, they were $110 web retail. Let's do this one at $60, shipped priority mail, in the sheath, in the box, $85 with an ApostleP edge. That is the Buck 110 Pro G10 S30V. Next up, one of my favorite Spydercos. Here we go, boys. This will be coming to us via Taichung, Taiwan. It is the Bradley 2. Yes, a Gayle Bradley 2 folder. Here's an interesting development. The original G10 carbon fiber laminate scales are in a Ziploc bag that says Sharp Dressed Knives, because the knife is wearing a set of very deep burgundy sharp dressed knives scales. I believe this is a burgundy rich light. Just kind of taking a look at the edges. And then it's wearing a DLC coated Casey Lynch shorty deep carry clip. You'll not use it on the left side if it's wearing this set of scales, but right now it's right hand tip up. So the Bradley 2 features an M4 blade, 3 5/8 inches is length, 4 11/16 inches a handle. It is either a stainless steel frame lock with scales or a super thick stainless steel liner lock, whichever you prefer to call it. The blade action is super sweet and silky. The centering is down the middle. This is wearing its original factory edge. It has very little to no wear in the M4 blade. Super nice example. They're discontinued. They're out of stock. Sold listings on eBay ranging between $180 and $280 for these. This one with the SDK scales, $180, like it is, $210 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Spyderco Gayle Bradley 2 plus custom scales. Next up, I think there are 2 of these in the sale tonight, so make sure when you send me your I'll take it that you send me the description as written so I know which one you're buying. It's a Spyderco. Says it's made in the USA. Must be Golden, Colorado, right here on the good old earth. You betcha. Here we go. It is in your inventory as Spyderco Para 2. Why did I do that? I don't know. I turned the page while I was yapping at you guys. Okay, Paramilitary 2, PJOG, Plain Jane, Original Gangsta, Black, Satin. Here we go. There's your blade. I'm going to say it was used and touched up. There is your handle. 4-way clips configured for right-hand tip up. Right now there's one little scratch, very superficial, in the clip right by the bug. Lockup is dead rock solid. Action is super free. Centering is, oh man, if it's not perfect, my old eyes can't tell. Okay, so let's see. It's a nice example, super nice example. Current map pricing, minimum advertised web price for this configuration is $185. Those are now all in S45 VN. A lot of us prefer S30V. That's what this is. Let's see. Let's do $130 on this, like it is $155 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Spyderco Para 2 PJ OG. Next up, we have a Spyderco I've never seen one of before in this colorway and steel. Well, it's just a Sage 1 plain edge, but what? It's got a Maxamet blade. Very interesting. It is a Sage 1, but it doesn't have the carbon fiber G10 laminate. It has gray G10. It's got a blasted deep carry ambidextrous tip-up wire clip. And that little 3 1/16 blade is in Maxamet. And they satined it. Very interesting. They usually blast and then stonewash it for about 3 days. But somebody got ambitious and satin ground the Maxamet. Factory edge is bitey, toothy. I'm going to give you a sharpened price, but don't feel like it needs it. Okay. There's your liner lock engagement. Action's nice, as all Sages are, and the centering is perfect. Condition on this one, near mint in box. Map price for this knife, and they are available, is $266. Let's do this one at $180 like it is. $210 if you like an Apostle P edge. That's Spyderco Sage 1 Gray Maxamet. Next up, more of the Spidey Fest. The last in the first run of Spideys for tonight. It is a Native 5. And it's just kind of a Native 5 satin and black, right? Black G10. Midlock with no boy dent. 4-way clip, polished variety. Normal Native blade and beautifully tumble polished S30V. Now this one has been sharpened. Again, nice and sharp. I'm not going to say it's super refined, so I'm going to give you a sharpened price, but don't feel like you need it for it to be sharp. Okay, so you got a 2 15/16 blade, 4-inch handle, rock solid lockback mechanism, bushing pivot like a pair of 2, so you get that nice free blade, and dead center on the blade. So we'll say the condition on this is near mint. Price of this model is currently $189 map pricing on your web or retail. Let's do this at $120 like it is. $145 with an Apostle P edge. Spyderco Native 5 Black S30V. Next up. Oh, we got a nice one, boys. Yes, we do. My favorite ZT ever made. And it is a real beast. It is the 0640 Emerson. And the original scales that you guys all hate, the black and green carbon fiber, are in an SDK envelope. And then the original disc is in a gray precision envelope because both of those parts are installed on the knife. Yep. OD green canvas micarta scales. And then the black DLC coated gray precision thumb disc, still wearing its factory ZT clip. On this knife and the, what was it, the 550 and some of the other ZT Emersons, the phosphor bronze washer action is unbelievable. They just flick open. Oh, awesome. So you got a 20 CV blade, the Emerson Gentleman Gym profile, 3 3/4 in length, a 4 3/4 handle, definitely a titanium frame lock that is scaled. Okay, so you've got a, I don't think, is there? Yes, there is a steel insert on that lock bar. Hard to see. I kind of forgot which it had. There's your lock engagement. Lockup's rock solid. Centering is dead. This has been used and sharpened. And let's see. Again, same consignor these last few have been. It is quite sharp. Not super refined. So I'm going to give you a sharpened price, but it doesn't need it to be sharp. Definitely not over sharpened. We'll call it near mint in box with accessories noted. Now these are discontinued, not a stock. Sold listings on eBay run between $262 and $330. That's about where they ought to be. This one we're going to do at $220 like it is, $250 with an Apostle P edge. Even if you have me sharpen it, you got a heck of a knife for $250 with, I would say, tasteful mods, right? It's the ZT 0640 plus custom scales. Next up, time to head to Oregon City for some Benchmade, just one of them. This is the 595 Mini Boost. I remember when these came out. So here's the deal on the boost. A couple key features, or the mini boost. First, it is an axis assist, so an axis lock mechanism with a spring assisted blade. Right? Second, it is a polymer handle with dual durometer. So the gray sections are kind of stippled but hard, and then the black section it's kind of a craytonish hardness and texture. Then you've got the Parkerized Shorty deep carry clip, one little scratch in it, I think you can see. So it's going to be, of course, ambidextrous tip up. The blade is S30V, and it's almost like a Presidio, isn't it? Gorgeous spear point, big long swedge, nice tumble over satin finish. What do we know about this? 3 1/8 inch blade, 4 1/16 handle. So nice efficient blade to handle ratio. Phosphor bronze washers, thumb studs for deployment on the axis assist. Let's see. Lockup is axis lock solid, which is to say bank vault. Centering, wow, a Benchmade is dead centered. How about that? Cool little knife. And super grippy even when wet. We're going to say it is near mint in box. Clip scuff noted. They're discontinued and out of stock. When they were available, the web pricing was around $157. Sold listings on eBay doing between $97 and $145. Let's do $90 on this one. Shipped priority mail, $115 with an TheApostleP Edge. Benchmade $595 boost. Next up, I got a whole bunch of stuff here. A whole bunch of stuff. I got a box from Three Rivers Manufacturing. I got an Atom, and this will be listed in your inventory as TRM Atom with 2 extra scales, because I have some granite colored G10, and I have some, what do we call them these? Deep Sea Micarta, which is like a dark teal canvas micarta. I got some white O-rings and a black O-ring. There's a blue one installed, which generally goes with the black. Right? So yeah, stuff. Got stuff. And this is wearing the blue O-ring only for the right-hand thumb stud. Not sure why the black one's down. Maybe we just didn't like it. So we've got blasted, crowned G10 scales in black. I got a deep carry right-hand tip-up titanium clip. I got beautiful thumb stud phosphor bronze washer action on this 20 CV blade. 3 7/16 inches in length. The handle 4 9/16. It's a beautiful knife in the hand. Your hand can wander all over and have great grip. Lockup is rock solid, engaged thusly. Why am I not focusing? There we go. The action's perfect. The lockup's perfect. The centering's beautiful. Look at that skinny tip. Man. Let's see. This has been user sharpened. And again, same consignor. It's quite sharp, not super refined. So, that's that. I will offer you a sharpened price, but don't feel like it needs it to cut. We'll call it near mint in box. With the deep sea, with the extra washers, with the granite G10, all in $220 like it is $250 with an TheApostleP Edge. That's the Three Rivers Atom with 2 extra scales. Next up, oh, time for a giant mouse. In this particular box, we have an Ace Atelier. Here we go. Beautiful little knife from Giant Mouse. OD green canvas micarta scales. Ambidextrous tip up deep carry wire clip. Opening hole. And ball bearings. So let's see. Yeah. The blade is an L-Max, a harpoon spear, I guess a harpoon clip, I guess we'd call that, wouldn't we? 2 7/8 inches of blade, 3 15/16 handle. Stainless steel liner lock. engaged thusly. Lockup is rock solid. Super smooth, super centered. And this one is sporting the factory edge. I wouldn't call it super sharp. It is nicely finished. Anyway, we'll call it near mint to like new in box. The price of these brand new at your favorite web retailer will be $215. Let's do this one at $160 like it is. $185 with an Apostle P edge. That is the Giant Mouse Ace Atelier. Whoops, I dropped it. Next up we have another Giant Mouse. It's the Ace Nimbus version 2 in natural canvas micarta. And this natural canvas has a lot of resin in it because it doesn't look hairy at all. It's got some nice color. Kind of the same configuration as the Atelier, right? Canvas micarta scales, stainless steel liner lock, thick liners, ambidextrous tip up deep carry wire clip, opening hole deployment that I'm not very good at. There's your stainless steel liner lock engagement. Solid lockup. Again, it has been user sharpened. Pretty doggone sharp, but not that refined. Ball bearings are silky. Centering dead down the middle. Again, L-Max blade. This one 3 inches in length, 4 1/4 handle. We'll call it near mint in box. These are available brand new at your favorite web retailer for $185. Let's go $140 on this one. $165 if you like it with an Apostle P edge. That's the Giant Mouse Ace Nimbus. Next up, we have one from Toor Knives. Comes in a very nice box, by the way. And the model is the Merchant. This particular Merchant is the 1.0. An American-made, quite squared away titanium frame lock knife. Some beautifully tumbled titanium scales. Spring titanium clip. Just a good-looking, robust titanium frame lock knife. Flicks out beautifully. You got an S35 VN blade. 3 3/8 inches in length. Cool maker's mark, by the way. Now let's see. I don't think. They did not put a steel insert in that lock bar. And man, it works great. And it has very little stick. How about that? Those appear to be bronze or bronze anodized thumb studs. Pretty cool knife. Nice run of jimping. Nice in the hand. The handle length's 4 7/16. It has been used and sharpened. Been sharpened, let's see. It is quite sharp, but you'll see not all of the original sharpening grind lines are cleaned up. It's superb sharpness for a user. It could be better looking, let's put it that way. There is a scuff that now doesn't really show up, but I thought there was kind of an irregular spot right here at the front of the handle. Just maybe from rubbing on something in the pocket, but look, the stonewash now has sort of hidden it. So yeah, pretty nice little knife. These are out of stock right now. When they were available at a web retail of $200. Let's do this at $130 like it is $155 with an Apostle P edge. That's the Toor Knives Merchant 1.0. Next up, time for a couple wheeze. Too bad there aren't 4 wheeze, because then we could go wee, 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 wee. That'd be 5 wheeze anyway. Remember the pig from the insurance commercial? In this particular wee box, we have a 718 Charlie array, a super nice slim gents folder. Yeah. It's got a little bit of a Quaken thing going on. Beautifully milled hunks of titanium. Almost a coin edging on the bevel. of those scales, and then you got a right-hand tip-up milled titanium pocket clip. Nice flipper, really nice flipper. Super ergonomic. You got a two-tone blade, an S35 VN. Rock solid lockup. Your steel inserted titanium frame lock locks up there. Super smooth ball bearing action. Perfect blade centering. We'll call it near mint in box. This one looks to have its factory edge. They're discontinued. They're out of stock. When they were available, it had a web retail of $190. Let's do this at $120 like it is. $145 with an ApostleP edge. That's the WE 718C array. Next up, our second WE tonight. This will be the 712D. They didn't have room to write the name of it on the little label there. It's a really long name. I'm going to say it incorrectly. I think it's either Spanish or Italian. A Balaenoptera. Balaenoptera. Yeah. Balaenoptera, I think. Okay. Another discontinued but kind of awesome WE knife. I love this. The milling on the titanium is the WE logo. How about that? Got some blue anodized titanium hardware. Looks like probably not the main pivot, that's probably steel, but the collar and the retaining and adjuster screws, blue anodized titanium. Even the screw that holds the steel lock bar insert. Nice sort of hidden lanyard post, also in blue titanium. It's a flipper. It's on bearings. Has kind of an organic-y spear point blade with a cool swedge. Blade steel is M390, 3.5 inches of it. Wearing its factory edge. The handle is 5 1/16. It's beautiful in the hand. The lock engages thusly. It's rock solid. Smooth and free. Perfectly centered. We'll say near mint to like new in box. These are discontinued and out of stock. When they were available, they were $200 web retail. Let's do this one at $150 like it is. $180 with an ApostleP edge. The WE 712D Balaenoptera. Next up, we are turning the page and coming at you with a pretty cool knife from Victorinox, and it's not what you think. That's an interesting box. There's the knife right there. What is it? Well, it's called the Victorinox Hunter Pro. Red A-lock scale, very cool. How they did the Victorinox shield, kind of cockeyed, askew, as part of the texture on the A-locks. You've got a right-hand tip-up deep carry clip. You got a factory cord lanyard. I don't have a thumb stud. I don't have a nail nick. It's kind of like the old Gerber Gator. You just pinch it, right? Mid-lock mechanism. Rock solid lockup. Saber ground spear point in Victorinox stainless steel. I mean, that lockup is dead rock solid. Nice smooth action. The blade centering is pretty dang close. The condition on this, I will say, near mint to like new in box. Web retail for these, and they're not small, guys. 3 7/8 blade, 5 1/4 inch handle. $120 is the web retail for this knife. Various websites-ish. Let's do this one at $70 like it is. $95 with an ApostleP edge. The Victorinox Hunter Pro. Next up, do I hear a dog barking? I think I do. It's a Boost Blades mini smoke. Yep, what a little cutie. Oh, look at that gorgeous milled marble carbon fiber scale. Gorgeous blue anodized titanium pivot and other hardware. Gorgeous milled titanium clip. Of course, it is a Titanium frame lock with a steel lock bar insert. It's a front flipper, which you guys know I don't do front flippers. There's your blade with the hound. I don't know how they got that. That is a coolest acid stonewash finish over a bead blast I think I've ever seen. Very cool. Very cool. 20 CV is your blade steel. Blade thickness looks like an 1/8 inch, but lots of material removed. Nice and skinny at the edge. 3-inch blade, 3 15/16 handle. The action's fine. It's on ball bearings. This lockup is beautiful. And the centering is dead. Is that backspacer floating? I think it is, yeah. So it's a cool little knife. It's like new in the box. These are out of stock with a web retail of $240. You pay a lot to get the blue, just so you know. Let's do, where'd it go? $200, like it is $230 with an ApostleP edge on that 20 CV blade. The boost blade's mini smoke. Next up, I teased you guys hard about this one. You probably all figured it out yesterday in my heads up video. We have one from Southern Grind. It is a spider monkey with carbon fiber handle and a satin drop point blade. There is your inspection card. And here is the gorgeous spider monkey. I love how they mill this carbon fiber. At first glance, you don't even notice that it's milled. And then you put it in your hand and you go, oh. The milling starts out kind of smooth. And as you move back, it gets a little more, the wavelength increases. Beautiful job, guys. Right hand tip up, shorty clip. Man, why can't you drill the other liner? Anyway, there's the blade. 3 1/4 inches of S35 VN. Beautiful stonewash. There's your lockup. And these are titanium liner locks on phosphor bronze washers with freaking thumb studs. Yes. Smooth, free, beautiful, centered, condition, near mint to like new in box. Web retail for these at your favorite knife retailer will be $261-ish. Let's do this one at $200 like it is. $225 with an ApostleP edge. The Southern Grind Spider Monkey CF. Next up, we have a blast from the past, not so distant past. It's from HK, made by Benchmade. Benchmade no longer is the OEM for the HK knives. I believe it has passed to Hogue, which actually kind of makes sense. So yeah, we've got a black hard anodized aluminum handle that's 4 9/16 inches in length. I have a very Benchmade deep carry smoke finish clip. Got a couple of scratches on it, and I've been in the pocket a little. It is an out the front automatic with a sexy clip point blade. The steel is D2. The length is 3 7/16. It has medium button effort. Like even Russ could do it. 100% reliable. Lockout's pretty standard. We've got some pocket snail trails in the black finish. I don't think there's really any wear on the blade. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there is. It could use me. Anyhow, these are discontinued and out of stock for some time. When they were available, they had a web retail price of $185. This, guys, is going to kind of throw you for a loop. Let's do $65. Shipped, priority mail, 90 with an ApostleP edge. That's the HK 14800 Tumult OTF. Next up, I have a knife that has no blade, no mechanism, and no liners. It's just a scale. From Sharp Dressed Knives, and the scale inside is, and there's just one of them. It goes to a Endura XM18 3.5 inch, and I know it's hard to tell the color of that canvas micarta on that side, but that ought to give it to you. It's black. It just needs a little oil from your hand. So let's see. It doesn't look like it's ever been installed. They sell for 59 bucks web retail. It's brand new in baggy. Let's do $35 shipped priority mail on the Sharp Dress Knives XM18 scale for a 3.5. Next up, oh, more Spydercos, more arachnids are invading. Here we go. This will say made in Japan. It is a Pacific, as we know it, a Pacific salt. So for a super waterproof knife you can go swimming with, Spyderco took the old Endura handle, with the more squared off butt and the single fastener reversible clip. They threw an H1 blade in it, did a hollow saber grind. We have a Pacific salt. Designed by Sal Glesser. Lockup is rock solid. It is a Boyd dented midlock. Works perfectly. Locks up rock solid. Blade is super free. What? It's even centered? You gotta be kidding me. It is. So, 3 3/16 inches of blade, 4 7/8 handle, yellow FRN. Near mint to like new in box, out of stock at $88 web retail. Sold listings on eBay, there was one at 75, but most of them are for over map. Yeah, 113 was sort of the top of the range. Let's do 80 bucks on this one, and it's a perfect example. 105 with an ApostleP edge. The Spyderco Pacific Salt. Next up, another Spidey from Seki City. It is an Endura FFG with orange scales, standard steel. So there's your orange FRN. There's your black clip. A little tiny bit of evidence of carry in the clip. And there's your Endura FFG blade. There's a little smudge, a smudgy scratch in that blade face. It's very superficial. You could probably make it disappear forthwith. VG10 blade, 3 13/16 in length, 4 7/8 handle. The Spyderco midlock is rock solid. Blade not super free, but not bad. Centering down the middle. We will call it near mint in box. Smudge on the blade noted. Current minimum advertised pricing for this model at web retailers is $96. We're going to do this one at $70 shipped priority mail, $95 with an ApostleP edge. That's in your inventory of Spyderco Endura FFG OR for orange. Next up, we're not going anywhere. Spyderco, Seki City, Japan. This one says Delica OD crew wear. Man, these things are moving around a lot, and guys love them. This is a DLT trading exclusive. OD green, FRN. Black hardware, black clip. And then a DLC blade in CPM crew wear. Rock solid lockup. Factory edge is pristine. Blade is nice and free. Centering is dead. Hard to see, but it is. I'm going to call it a like new in box. DLT is out of stock. When they were available, they were $116. Let's do this one. A doggone perfect example. There's not really anything I can fault it for. Let's do $100 shipped priority mail, $125 with an ApostleP edge. It's in your inventory as Spyderco Delica FFG OD DLC crew. Next up, why do I not own this? I don't know why I don't own one of these. It's one of my favorite FRN Seki Spydercos. It is the Stretch 2 Ivory, but it's not just ivory. It was a sprint run, and yes, it has ivory colored FRN. But the thing I like about it, it's not the color of the handle scales, it's this blade. Yeah, it's got a Spidey clip. Very similar in profile to a Paramilitary 2, which is very similar in profile to the old C03 Hunter from the 80s. This was kind of an homage knife to that blade. So yeah, we've got 3 7/16 VG10 blade, 4 3/4 inch stretch 2 handle, and the stretch 2 handle is sort of legendary, right? Mid-lock with boy dent, rock solid lockup. Pretty nice blade travel. Centering is very close to perfect, might favor the right very slightly. You could probably make it not do that. Discontinued, out of stock for a long time. Sold listings on eBay between $137 and $250. I can't imagine paying $250 for one of these. Your price on this one, how about $95? Like it is, $120 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Spyderco Stretch 2 Hunter in ivory. FRN. Next up. Again, why don't I own one of these? It's a Spyderco. This one from Taichung. It is a Sage 5 standard configuration. So you've got your wonderfully textured carbon fiber over G10 set of handle scales. You got an ambidextrous tip-up deep carry paperclip clip. And you got a compression lock in the 5. Yes, you do. This one is wearing a polished edge, and it is a really good one. Just so you know, we're going to offer no sharpened price on this one. So 3 inches of blade, 4 3/16 handle, compression lock, super free blade action, rock solid lockup. And let's see, does a stretch have perfect centering? Pretty dang close. Anyway, let's see. Near mint in box, $196 is the current map price for this knife. I think that might be a little ridiculous. Here's a super nice example. Let's do $145 like it is, no need to sharpen. That's the Spyderco Sage 5. Okay, boys, we have reached a crucial point in tonight's sale. It's time for the Rob's pick. So none of my early birds have seen this knife when they got their list this morning. The 9 o'clockers are the first ones, and this one is a beauty. It's a Spyderco. It is made in the United States of America, even though it doesn't say so on the new label. It says Manix 2 CF Crew Wear. Oh. Yeah, satin, almost blasted finish carbon fiber. Man, look at how it plays with the light. Bright hardware, tumble polished clip, crewwear blade, factory edge, appears to be a virgin. The caged ball lock is rock solid. Let's see. Blade drops fairly freely. The centering is perfect. These were a Knife Center exclusive, and they are out of stock. Sold listings on eBay. Look it up. Between $300 and $400. This one might be the buy of the century. $225, like it is, $250 with my edge. Very near mint to like new in box. That's the Spyderco Manix 2 CF Crew, the Rob's pick tonight. Next up, more Spideys. This one from Golden. It's a pair of 3 in 204p. That means it was a dealer exclusive for Knife Works. It's that sort of forest green G10. Bright hardware. Tumble polished clip. 204p from Carpenter is your blade steel. The lockup is dead rock solid. The action is super free. The centering is perfect. It's like new in the box. Virginal edge. So these are discontinued and out of stock at Knife Works. Arizona Custom Knives got a hold of some of them and sold them for $200. Sold listings on eBay run between $195 and $260. Let's do this at $175 like it is. 200 if you'd like it with an Apostle edge. That's in your inventory of Spyderco pair 3 GN for green, and then 204p. Next up, oh, this is a sad moment because it's our last Spyderco in the sale. There's your box. There's your label. Yep, it's a Paramilitary 2 Digicam. And here's the knife. Let's see, how's that Digicam G10 look? Pretty good. It sort of trends to the dark green a little bit. There's your blade. CPM S30V. Lock up dead solid. Free dropping blade. The centering is very close to perfect. Might favor the left, but very, very, very slightly. We'll call it near mint in box because there's a scratch in the, well, there's some scratches on the clip just from on the corners bumping into things. You can still buy this model. It's going to have an S45 VN blade if you buy a new one. They're $186 web retail. Let's do this one in the preferred S30V blade for $140, like it is $165 with an Apostle edge. That's the Spyderco pair 2 satin digi, not to be confused with the PJOG. So don't confuse them. Next up, oh, we have our second Three Rivers Manufacturing knife in tonight's sale. It's another Atom. This is going to be in red linen micarta, so your inventory is going to say TRM Atom red linen. Here you go. A 4 9/16 handle. Beautiful shape aesthetically. It just is. We have no O-rings installed. I don't think there were any in the box, but you know, you can put whatever you want on there. 3 7/16 blade, beautiful tumble polished stonewash finish. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous. The red linen looks beautiful. The titanium liner lock is right in the middle of the blade tang where it belongs. Rock solid lockup. Blade centering dead down the middle. The titanium deep carry right hand tip up clip is all squared away. We'll say like new in box. Your price, $200, like it is, $230 with an Apostle edge. That's the TRM Atom in red linen. Next up, we have our second offering tonight from Columbia River Knife and Tool. This one is the 6434 Kova in OD green. This is a great, inexpensive Columbia River Knife and Tool tool. This is the brother-in-law knife of the week. So, we got a handle scaled in OD green. Almost looks engine turned FRN with a nice big groove down the middle. That's pretty cool. We got a deep carry, polished right hand tip up clip. We have thumb stud deployment. It's probably better than that. Should be, oh, it's a lock. It's a front lock, we're calling it, right? Back lock, mid lock, front lock. Nice free action. Washers and studs. Got an 8CR13 blade, 3.5 inches in length with a hollow Saber grind on the drop point. The handle, 4.5. Everything works great. The centering's down the middle. The condition, near mint to like new in box. These things have a web retail of $35. This one, like new in the box, maybe near mint. I don't know. Couldn't really find anything. $25 shipped priority mail, $50 with an Apostle edge. That's the CRKT 6434 Kova. Next up, these are so much fun. Every time we have one, they sell quick. This will probably be the one that does it. From Boker Plus, you know that box. Inside that resides the Boker Plus Kalashnikov Red Dagger. The Red Dagger. Now the current ones, or the newer ones, are D2. This one's AUS 8. The hard anodized black aluminum handle. The red deep carry tip up right hand pocket clip. Button lock automatic. There's the red dagger in AUS 8. 3 5/16 blade, 4 5/16 handle. Button lock locks up perfectly. Nice stiff spring. Blade is down the middle. Action's perfect. Great example. And it's like new in the box. These are out of stock. When they were available, they had a web retail of $55. I don't think you can buy a new one right now. Let's do this one though at $40 like it is, 65 shipped, priority mail, or 65 sharpened, sorry. $40 shipped priority mail, 65 sharpened. That is the Boker Plus Kalashnikov Red Dagger. Next up, we have one from Mr. Enrique Pena by way of China. It's the Pena X series, and the knife inside is the dogleg jack in brown micarta. Pretty good effort from Mr. Pena. Yeah, so we got a titanium frame, which is milled to accept the natural canvas micarta or the brown micarta. You get a titanium backspacer. It's a front flipper with a steel inserted titanium bolster lock, right hand tip up milled titanium pocket clip, hollow ground spear point blade, an M390 with a beautiful swedge, 2 7/8 blade, 3 3/4 handle. Lockup is rock solid. It is engaged thusly. The ball bearing pivot is flawless and smooth. The centering is perfect. Blade length is 2 7/8, handles 3 3/4. It's like new in the box. These are discontinued and out of stock. Sold listings on eBay running between $260 and $275. I think there are only 2 of them. Your price on this one, you can't find a better example. Cheaper than both of them. Let's go $240 shipped priority mail, $265 with an Apostle P edge. That's the Pena X series dogleg jack. That brings us to the last knife in tonight's sale. It is from Kaiser, and the knife inside the box is the KI 3502 Mini Therium. Now, some of you guys who keep better tabs on the Chinese knife market will know better than I. The web listings for the Mini Therium just call this carbon fiber, but there's got to be a name for it, right? Because it's not a weave. It's just like layers, and then when they mill it, they're relieved. It's really cool. Probably not as strong as a weave, but the aesthetic is awesome. Blue anodized milled titanium pocket clip, right hand tip up. Blue anodized titanium backspacer. I think there's a little lanyard post in it. No, there's not. It's just the barrel of one of the screws, I think. So you got a liner lock knife. An interesting interpretation on the Wharncliffe, I think. S35 VN blade, 3 inches in length, 4 3/16 handle. It's a ball bearing flipper. Flips great. It centers up. We'll call it like new in the box. Discontinued and out of stock. Web retail was $135 when they were available. They're kind of hot. They're doing between $120 and $140 in the sold listings on eBay. Let's do $100 on this one. $125 with an Apostle P edge. That's the Kaiser KI 3502 Mini Therium. That, my friends, brings us to the end of another weekly knife sale on the Apostle P channel. Hope you enjoyed it. I sure did, and I'll be enjoying it while we're moving knives around. Grace to you and peace, my friends, from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Remember, the word is sharp. Have at her, boys.